Hey everyone, welcome to the Dr. S Morning Thoughts. So I hope, again, as I always say every time I make these videos, I hope these help you and they give you those just those little pieces of information that you need just to get through your week or maybe a moment or whatever it is that you're doing. But I want to go ahead and talk today about ways to just to get over your frustration. I know that this week for me, I had some frustrating moments, and it was just like, okay, why? Like, why do I have to make certain things that happen, get me frustrated? So the thing is, I thought like just a quick little cheat sheet that it kind of helped me a little bit to get through. So one of the things was, accept the reality of what the situation is. Like, really, I know you're going to get frustrated when you're in the moment and whatever, but just accept the reality. Like, what is happening right now? If it happened before or something that happened 10 minutes ago, but you're carrying that frustration through into your so-called now, then anything else that you want to experience in that now present moment is not going to really manifest to what you would probably really get if you weren't frustrated. So just say something, like that's going to make you feel better. So when you start feeling that, like sometimes for me, it's like when it's in my lower core and I'm just like, okay, that's it. Change the thought, change my thinking, change my attitude. And that's what I do. And that brings me up to my second point is, shift your focus. If you can get your mindset and just kind of say, you know what? I am not going to stay there in this frustration mode. Let me shift over. And I mean, if it means that you have to think about what you did as a child or something that somebody did for you a week ago, a month ago, whatever it is, just shift your focus and let it go. Now, I know that's hard. That's not so easy sometimes when people tell you that when you're in the frustrating mode. It's not that easy. But I'm just trying to say, put your aware button on. That's one of my Dr. S vocabulary words is to put your awareness on. So when this is happening to you, you're like, no, I'm not going to get frustrated. This is, as a matter of fact, I think this is too petty. I'm not going to allow this to steal my joy. So let me shift over and I'm going to have a moment and I'm just going to get myself out of this mode and shift over to this mode, which is going to make me feel better. So I think that's a lot of times it's kind of hard to do, but we got to get into that step of awareness of making this happen. Finally, the next one is talk about it with a friend. Okay, sometimes we have those friends and you might want to talk about it. But be careful though with that one, is because sometimes talking about your frustration, 9 times out of 10, it might be because you're talking about somebody else. So when you're talking about it with a friend, you really got to be honest with yourself. Are you truly venting or are you gossiping even more, fueling your frustration? So be careful when you are going to want to, talk it out with a best friend. Another good way to do is just journal it, write it down. Like if you're frustrated, write it down. Just like go ahead and write it down because that's a form of release. So go ahead and write it down. And once you write it down and you look at it on paper and you reread it, you're going to go, wow, okay, I feel a little bit better right now. This is making me feel good. So go ahead and journal it and just see like how, it's going to make you feel. If you like writing, even, go to a step further into writing it as a letter form. So maybe write it directly to that person as if you were going to mail it, but don't mail it. Just write it as a letter in that form and in that process. And then see if that process by you really directly writing to the person as if they were standing there, that also might release your frustration. Identify a list of possible actions that if you were to if you were to do the situation again, What would have been something that you could have done, not allowing yourself to get frustrated? Is it that you could have maybe not said something? Could you have just said, listen, I don't mean to be rude, but I have a meeting, I got to get there, but I will get back to you, and maybe take yourself out of the situation. So what could you have done? So kind of ponder on that. Maybe when you're on your journaling it, add that kind to your journal. Or even when you're writing a letter directly to the person, at the end, say, I could have done this to make the situation a little bit more easier. So maybe, you could do that way. A lot of times for certain people, we like to sleep on it. We like to don't do nothing, don't say nothing, don't do nothing. Just go ahead and sleep on it, because sometimes it does. If after you get a good night's sleep or something and you're away from the situation, you stepped out of it, you're away from the person, especially if it happened like something at work, you're away from the environment, you're out of it. So, that might be easy for you to do. It's just to sleep on it. Read something funny. Read something to like another way to get you in that shift mode. Read something funny and get you out of the mood to say, really, when you look back, you say, did I really release my power to that? Did I get myself so frustrated because of that? And so, sometimes reading something funny, a joke or what have you, can really help us, maybe not solve the problem, but it'll allow you to see it like, wow, it's not as bad as I thought it was. I allowed myself to get that frustrated. Other hand too is, sometimes we always blame ourselves for everything. We always blame ourselves for creating the situation, maybe for getting the other person aggravated. So that's why you got aggravated. So right now, you know what? Stop blaming yourself for everything. There's a difference between taking responsibility and also blaming. Two different things. So don't blame yourself for something that you truly were not the cause of, but take responsibility that maybe you added to the frustration within yourself or / to the other person because of what possibly could have went on. But don't blame yourself for everything. Easy thing to do: walk away, take a walk, and just not engage in further into the situation to bring you up to that more of a feeling of being aggravated and frustrated. Sometimes what's really good, sometimes when you're frustrated, I love to cook. So cooking is a therapy for me. So sometimes I'll just go in the kitchen and I'll just start cooking something up. If I'm frustrated, I just get in the kitchen and I just start, cooking something. And before you know it, I'm in so much into the creative stage of what I'm trying to cook that I'm releasing that frustration. And, I'm not banging pots and pans on there, but, you release, something when you're going through the cooking process. So that's a really good, I think, therapy. I mean, if you have an opportunity and you're invited to go to a party or something, go. Take that shift, get yourself out of that mode and go to that party. And sometimes too, what? I like to be around other people, like borrow some of other people's enthusiasm. Say, hey, look, I'm having such a great time. Can I borrow some of your enthusiasm? Can you make me feel a little better than what I'm feeling right now? So go ahead and do that, and just make yourself feel that thing of feeling better and getting out of frustrating mode. Or, sometimes you can just watch something on TV, watch a comedy or something, a movie, one of your favorite movies to put you in a good mood. And then if you really want to figure out what brought you to that moment, then you have to, take back and look really within yourself and say, why? Write the question, why am I broken up about this? Why am I so frustrated? What was truly going on? Maybe it had nothing to do with what the other person was saying or a way a situation was going. Maybe it's something else, but that you're just so broken about that this was just another layer to it and it just exploded. So that's a thing to also look and see why you get so frustrated. So ask yourself that question for why. And that's a really deep thing. So be honest and only do it within yourself if you don't want to share it with nobody or talk it about with anybody. But ask yourself that reason. Why? Why did I get so frustrated? And, sometimes, what, I just go sometimes, I might go like volunteer my time or something just to, again, remove the shift of movement from the actual situation to get the frustration mode out of me. Sometimes, though, I might stand up for what I was believing in and then what I was frustrated about. But sometimes I have to stand up for what I believe in. So standing up for whatever that caused you to get frustrated might have its, you know, reason for you to stand up for it. But when you're standing up for what you're believing in, don't fall back on and blame others for why you got frustrated. So if you're going to stand strong. And, just make sure that you are focusing on the right direction. Sometimes what happens is we're in a contrast with a worse situation. And that's what I was just saying a little bit earlier. It's very hard sometimes to be in one situation, whether you're happy or sad or angry or mad or whatever, and then go into another situation and start with a clean slate. We bring the residue of every minute to minute of what we do, and we build it up, within our day. We don't constantly, every time I'm done with somebody, I clean my slate and go, okay, next, now what? Oh, clean that slate. Okay, now what? We don't do that. We're not really built that way, or our minds are not built that way to actually be able to get rid of those residues that we bring to other situations that have nothing to do probably with the situation prior. But another good way I love to do, if I'm frustrated and I'm just like, I'm the type of person, I don't like to be around people. I like to be in my own space. So, and then I go into, like, I like to meditate. So I get into meditation state of mind, and I just release all of it. It's like, in other words, like, I feel like I just got out of a shower when I'm done meditation. Like when you come in, you're all dirty and everything, you take a shower, you want to feel clean. Well, that's what meditation does for me. It just cleanses my inner self, my peace of mind, and just making me say, you know what, maybe I didn't have to just like jump up off the handle like that. Or another way to get rid of frustration is, do something that's a little bit more physical. Like for instance, I like to go on my bike ride. I do a 12-mile bike ride that I do. I put my headphones on, and again, I'm getting this frustration out. So maybe something physical, go for a walk, go for a run, jog, just do something that, again, it's gonna, do that. But just remember, when you're in that frustrated mode, this too will pass. It's not something that's going to stay. And especially if you're a person that works at it and you are aware of it. So it's just not going to be able to say, law of attraction, just not going to allow it when you're aware, and that you are just going to say, I'm moving on. I'm not staying stuck here. It was something that I experienced in this now moment, but my next now moment, I'm not bringing it with me. I'm going to experience something more and positive. So these were just some little ideas that I wanted to write down, because guess what? Me, myself, as Dr. S, I'm a human and I get frustrated because some things don't go my way, and I understand it. But here's the thing. I just want to tell you that on my journey, I share these things with you because I know what it feels like. And so I'm just saying now what I do is I am practicing and I am fine tuning my senses and my higher power connection that I feel that is what is directing me. And I'm learning how to listen to that voice, that advice that comes to me, or the opportunities that come to me, not to look at it like, oh my God, is this right? Should I do this? Should I not do this? And bring on all those frustrations that way. Now I just do things, keep it simple, keep it clear. Let's just say you did something, like a financial thing, and you invested $1,000 because you really thought this was going to work. And here you go, you're working at it, and a month later you realize you were scammed. They took you for your $1,000 and it wasn't right. Okay, you're going to get frustrated. You're going to get mad. But you know what? You don't have to stay in that mode. Be aware and say, you know what? It was something I did, something I experienced. Now I need to move on. I can't stay stuck here. So if you could start getting that mindset, I'm telling you, things, the law of attractions will bring these opportunities to you. I'm still doing mine, and I'm still doing the testing of what I need to do. In my eyes, it's like, okay, let's try this today. Okay, let's try that today. And whatever I need in this now moment, that's what I'm doing. I'm not worrying about what's going to happen, or I don't pre-plan on a situation and try to control it to go my way so I can get the outcome of the results that I think I want. Maybe it's not the results or the situation that is needed to be on my path or my journey. So you gotta sometimes step away and understand navigation is not always a straight line. And so I just want to put that in there and plug that in, because I want you to keep that in your mind, because my next book is How to Walk a Straight Line in a Crooked World. So your path can be a straight line, but it might not go in a straight navigation because we live in a crooked world. So your results that you always are trying to look for in situations that we get frustrated in may be not the results that we need. And you've got to accept that. And you got to look at it like saying, wow, okay, then I guess that wasn't what I really needed. You might have thought you wanted it, but that's not truly what you needed. So just like how I do my talk radio shows every Saturday, 11 a.m., Dr. S, Mind, Body, and Soul, what is your truth? That's your truth. When you start seeing things like that, that's your truth. So here I am again, Dr. S. I hope these little tidbits have helped you. So I'm always trying to put these out. People ask me questions and email me. So I try to put these together, and hopefully that I answer their questions and I give them what they desire to hear. But don't forget, always follow me at drslvnv.com every Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Pacific time. Click on my radio tab, and then you could either listen or watch and see me live in the studio. You can talk to me directly live when I'm in the studio. You have these webinars, so just go to YouTube and punch in Dr. S Morning Thoughts, and my YouTubes will pop up, and you can listen to them whenever you need to just feel a little bit better about yourself, or you just need some food for the soul. Definitely look up my YouTube webinars. And also, if you want to email, you can email me at drslvnv@yahoo.com. Well, guys, it is the weekend. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have a great week. So I hope to hear from you, and I will see you again next week. All right. Have a great time, everyone.